Hello and thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry-Royce, and welcome to Positive Power 21 Network, where you get your positive on. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet Radio.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for joining the Jerry-Royce Show, and welcome to Positive Power 21.org, a.k.a. Power 21. I'm the voice of Jerry-Royce. When it's all positive, it's all power. That's Positive Power. And today's sponsor for the Jerry-Royce Show is CeCe Solomon, author of The Mission, and she's a brand new author coming out of the Baltimore, Maryland area, now living up in the D.C. area. So please support that young sister. And we got Rhonda Lawson up in Belgium. She has a new release called Twilight. Not Twilight of the Vampires, but it's about a teenage girl named Twilight. We got Lisa Watson. She's a romance novel writer, and her series is called Match Broker, about a lady who liked to match her girlfriends up and her friends up with one another. Pretty interesting book. But it's 3 of them now. All right? And then we have Reggie and Bianca. They are new gold sponsors. Their company is called Career Image Solutions. They specialize in HR needs. So if your company is growing and you got payroll issues and bookkeeping problems, give them a call. Now, right now, we don't have the link on the website, but it'll be there shortly. But you can Google them. Google the resume guy, and it come right up, the resume guy. And some of us do need to update our resumes, speaking of resume guy. And don't forget about legacy publishing guru Michael McGrew out of California. He has a company called Authors Rock. He's rocking T-shirts. He got 3 books out. He has an awesome trailer that's on our website. Check it out, Room 111. It's on YouTube. And his latest release is called Designer Relationships. And then we have AAM Book Club leader and founder, Tamika Newhouse. Her publishing company is called Delphine Publications, and she has a series of authors under her wing, and she has a lot of releases. And then she also has a brand new book out also, and all of them available on Kindle, ebooks, all of them, okay? And then again, don't forget about my special sponsors, Fast Tech Solutions. They build infrastructures from the ground up, so if you need a new network, check them out, especially if you're in the Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, even Philadelphia, because he has a restaurant up in the Poconos, and they rock a sauce called the Sauce Snob, okay? And that's coming soon to groceries. And Zuki Pet Gifts, if you're a friend who just lost a pet, or the pet is extremely sick, they have the most wonderful gift baskets you could buy. And also she does NFL and basketball, NBA type baskets as well. So check it out because she has 2 sites. I just can't remember the name of the second site. So please forgive me. And don't forget about my man, the Finely Dressed Man on eBay. Click him up. He got Brooks Brothers, Nautica, Joseph Banks, Men's Warehouse items, Pierre Cardin, you name them. He has them. All right. And today on my show, we got a very special author. She has a lot of awards on her website. There's so many of us, about a good paragraph thick. Her name is Sheila E. Limsey. She's also known as God's Amazing Girl. She's nationally acclaimed, multi-award-winning author with 13 titles to her credit thus far. And she has awards like the USA Book Club Female Author of the Year. She has a Choice Book Award under 10 titles, nominated with Christian Literary Award for Joy and Company, all kinds of big awards. The Kindle Award, wow, I didn't know they had that one. Kindle Award, she got the Pink Diamond Literary Award, Reader's Choice from, what's that, Soar Mag? I have to get to know some of these acronyms. I've been out of the game so long. And she has Black Pearls Magazine, Urban Reviews, Author of the Year by Conversation Book Club. Now, I'm going to have an award. Man, that is so impressive. And she's also the founder of BWABC Black Writers and Book Club Literary Festival, Memphis African American Writers Group, Benita and Hodge Publishing Group. She's part of that. Wow. She's an inspirational speaker. She shares messages of empowerment and overcoming obstacles with audiences all over the USA. Woo, y'all got to check out her bio because there's still another paragraph to go. So welcome to the show, Sheila. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful this evening. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So you've been in the game for a while.
Yeah, for quite a while. About about going on 14 years.
Wow, that is very impressive. Now
Thank you
have a lot of books. Now before the ebook, now are you doing ebooks publications also?
Yes, our books come out in print and ebooks.
Okay, so is it a lot easier to get it out now? I mean, okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's find out who you're writing for now. Are you writing for your publishing company or you're signed to somebody?
I was writing for Urban Books, and my titles are still under there. But now, since I've joined Benita and Hodge Publishing Group, I'm writing under Benita and Hodge Publishing Group, which I'm the acquisitions editor for that.
Good. Okay, so now, you're able to crank out books anytime you want. Or you signed to a certain deal, or you have a number of books you're supposed to do with them?
No, I'm able to, crank them out as quickly and as often as I want to.
Wow.
But, I am committed to at least one book per year.
Okay. Now, I'm hearing that some authors are committed to 3 books a year. They have to have a book ready every 4 months. That is crazy. But I guess...
Well, I guess that's just the nature of some publishing companies.
Yeah, I guess because, okay, now ebooks, everybody is holding some type of electronic device that, pages can be downloaded to. And, people reading books, I can get through a book in no time. Now, I'm considered a slow reader. When it comes to reading a book, it's just something about a physical book. Just, I'll have 3 titles that I want to read and maybe finish half of them in a week maybe. So, but you have people who get through books in 2 days. Brand new downloads. And now, is that helping you? Is that helping to feed your pockets with more money because of that? Is the Kindle aiding to your success, your richness?
Oh, yes, and I just don't say Kindle. I would just say the ebooks period because the whole ebook phenomenon because it's from Apple, iTunes, Kobo, Smashwords, Kindle, Nook, all of those. Scribd, just like recently I signed with Scribd, and Scribd is like the new Netflix of books. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Yeah, but Scribd. So my books are on Scribd where you pay $8.99 a month, 1 month, and you just download all the books that you want for that entire month. So, not just my books, but just like I said, just like Netflix. So they're available on that. So I sort of steer away from just using that term Kindle and just say on your favorite e-reading device.
Yeah, right, because everybody has their preference out there.
Right, right.
Yeah, wow, that is incredible. Okay, so you have all these titles under your name. What's your latest release?
My latest release is book 5 under the My Son's Wife series, which is My Wife, My Baby, and Him. And actually, I have 16 titles. I think it said on the website 13, but My Wife, My Baby, and Him is book 5 in the My Son's Wife series. And it was just recently released February 28th.
All right, good. All right, let's talk a little bit about that book, and then we'll talk a little bit about you, how you... Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk a little bit more about you. Now, what made you? What happened that you decide? Hey, I want to be a writer, and I want to get paid for it, and I want to tell a good story. What happened? When did that happen?
Well, I just say life happened. I always enjoyed writing. I used to write poetry, never thinking I was going to be a writer. I've always been from the small child done inspirational speaking, reciting poems in church, and just loved the idea of writing. But then it was just through a series, well, not a series, I would just say a tragic event that happened in my life back in 1997. And it was such a tragic event. My fiance was murdered. And so I went into this deep, deep depression. And my minister at the time, she said, hey, you have to pull yourself out of this, and you're going to have to do something to just, to move forward. And, of course, I didn't want to hear that, but she suggested that I start journaling. And, she said, just put your thoughts down, Sheila. Just anything that you feel like putting down. So I just started, I took her advice, and she actually bought me my first journal. And I just started writing all my feelings, the grief that I was going through, the poems. I did it in poems. And I filled up, Jerry, one journal after another. I mean, as soon as I finished one journal, and I mean large journal, as soon as I finished one journal, then, I was out shopping for another journal, the next journal. And so this went on for, I guess, probably maybe about a year. And I always tell people I speak to that it was just one day. That last journal is just as if I just exhaled. It's just like I breathed in a deep breath and I released it slowly, and it was like, it's done, and I could move forward. It didn't stop the grief process, but it helped me to move forward. And so from that book, from those journals, that birthed my very first book called Always, Now, and Forever, which is a semi-autobiographical story of my life. But I couldn't get it published, I kept sending it off, and they would send me these elaborate rejection letters. Oh, it's extraordinary, it's gut-wrenching, it's this, it's that. But it doesn't fit our platform. It's not what we're looking for this time, or we already have something similar. So not, being that A type of personality that I have, I just wasn't going to stop there because I wanted that story to get out because it was so personal to me. And that's where it started. And so I did my first self-published book. The book cover reeks of self-publishing back then. You dare not say that you were self-published. That was that was taboo. Don't say you self-published. So but from that book, I wrote one nonfiction book, and needless to say, I just started writing. In other words, the writing bug hit me, and my book, In To Each Life, was the manuscript was read by Carl Weber of Urban Books, Kensington Urban Books, and I was offered that book deal, and I've been writing ever since.
All right. So who you writing for again? Who you under now?
Now I'm under Bonita and Hodge Publishing Company, and this is a small indie publishing company, which nowadays I think we'll call boutique publishing companies, because we're small, boutique publishing companies. So it just has basically me as the primary author. Two other authors have just recently joined us, and I'm the acquisitions editor for that, and one of the founders for Bonita and Hodge Publishing Company.
All right, and I like that. People are getting really clever now with small businesses now. And, people are not just thinking small anymore; they're thinking outside the box. With the help of the internet, you're able to spread your message, and millions are there waiting to receive it. Now, sound like the internet has been good to you guys. Has it been good to you?
Yes, it truly has. And, I tell anyone in this industry, though, it's only as good as the time that I spend on it. Because now that's, it can be good and bad for me. Because as a writer, of course, I write. And I spend a majority of my time, writing. And so social media, the internet, as far as that, the social media side of it, it takes, consistency. It takes, continually out there, putting yourself out there. But if you can get yourself out there and you have your books online, people now don't have to go in the bookstores. They can order them from BarnesandNoble.com. They can order them from BooksAMillion.com. They can order it on the e-reading device. They can order it from Amazon. So the internet is truly our friend. It really is.
That's right. Now, the company that you're working for, Bonita Hodge, is that family owned?
It's family owned. Yes, it is.
Good. We like to express, our thanks to them, allowing you to come on and talk to us about your career in writing. And we hope that people will go out to Bonita and Hodge Publishing Company and check out some of the other authors they could be featuring. Now, how many other authors are you guys featuring under that?
There are just two other authors now, and right now submissions will be open back in June 1st. So any aspiring authors out there, go to BonitaandHodgePublishing.com, review the submission guidelines. Because one thing about this industry, Jerry, we are, as far as Bonita and Hodge Publishing, being an acquisitions editor for them, I can tell you that we are very selective, and I think I learned a lot of what I know now about the publishing industry thanks to my former I guess I would say my former boss, Carl Weber, because he really taught me a lot about the business aspect of this, whether he realizes it or not. But I'm very selective, and authors have to realize that always send in your best work, because we get submissions all the time. But a lot of times they don't follow the submission guidelines. They aren't properly edited. They're not even properly formatted. So one of the things I learned, and I tell aspiring authors, send your best work. Don't depend on the publishing company. Some of them think, okay, well, they're going to edit it anyway. And you'll be surprised at the type of material that we receive. So
I can imagine.
Everybody wants to be out. They think it's so easy, but but the simplest things that you don't follow can be the reason that you're not actually offered to see your full manuscript.
That's right. And, Sheila, it's funny that you mentioned that because, before I got into podcasting around 06, 07, my family actually owned publishing. It was more of a graphic design company. We were publishing our own newspaper at the time, but people were asking us to help them out because they were self-published. They didn't know where to go during those times. So since we were familiar with the printing and formatting books, because we were working for a medical publisher at the same time, we said, okay, we'll help you out. And then look, we thinking they sending us finished manuscript. The stuff was like, is this your first copy? Yes, it is. And you want us to do what with this again?
Oh, well, Gosh.
I made a lot of money off those people because once I built a team of editors, I was getting a cut of all of that. So it had to go through like 3-4 hands before before it could be corrected. It was so bad. But they told great stories. And then of course most of the items we were getting back then were biographical books. So a lot of times they just something happening in their life, that they just had to get it down on paper. Same situation you were in. So they just give it to us and say, hey, just help me. So, we made money from that, so I was grateful. But I understand what you're saying.
It's just, exactly. And then I also am the owner myself of Written Word Editorial Services. So you're right. I mean, I can provide editorial services, but I'm saying, though, if you just go on and submit your best work, you're going to have the best shot, because if I see something that comes through Bonita and Hodge and it's not following the guidelines, it's poorly edited, there's misspelled words, run-on sentences, no punctuation. I mean, it's absurd. So I don't even want to take the time, really. That tells me if you came to Written Word Editorial, my private editorial firm, you're going to be paying a huge chunk, because a lot of times you end up having to rewrite. I mean, it's just extensive. So I just think that if you aren't really serious about it, if you don't want to invest in yourself, gosh, don't put it off on us.
I'm looking at your website, and you're really clever with a lot of electronic terminology that's out there now. Like you have something that they call online e-tailers. I've never seen it written that way before, and of course, all about all of the electronic devices that's out there in every format possible. That just tells me that you're a pioneer in the game when paperback was the thing. And I come from the same world, being in the medical world. All our clients, they were paying millions of dollars to have these books perfectly bound and printed and edited. Where now people are just sitting at their computer, coming up with a good story, a fancy cover, and just throwing it out there. Now, what are you saying to people? Would you tell them, hey, be patient, it's going to come to you, or get help? What are you saying to newbies?
Again, it's so easy now, Jerry, to become a quote-unquote published author. And that's good and bad, because sometimes it gives veteran authors like myself, those who are passionate about what they do, it gives us a bad name. And I say that because it is so easy to become a published author. You run across so many books that are just thrown together. They look good on the outside. The cover is dynamic. The title may be popping, as they say, and you open it up, and it's just like those submissions. It's not edited. It's junk. You know, and when I mean junk, I mean punctuation off. Don't know point of view. I mean, wouldn't know what point of view was probably if you put it in their face. And so it can give you a bad name because it takes away from those of us who are really passionate about what they do. And so it's good. And again, do your best. I mean, do the type of work. If you're going to be an independent author and you're going to publish yourself, then you still should follow the guidelines of traditional publishing. That means you're going to invest in a good editor. You're going to make sure that book is properly formatted. You know, I can look at a book, a printed book, and I can immediately, by opening it up, tell if it's poorly, like a self-published title. You know, I can tell because I've even seen some books, and just on the inside, it's a certain way where your title and your the title and your author name. It's a certain position that's supposed to have. You know, take the time to find out where that's supposed to go. How do you do your page counts? Where does your copyright page go? Your title page. So it's those things that you may say, well, the readers don't care, but you're supposed to care. Because how would if you have a desire to be a traditionally published author, if you desire for the big 5 publishers to pick you up, then those are the things that are going to help determine. It's more than a good story these days. I mean, good stories come a dime a dozen.
That's right. That's right. And the funny thing is, people can hide because I notice when I look at the list of the bestsellers, you know, the New York Times list, you know, you see the author's picture, and of course, you know, like you said, the book is professionally done. They give you samples of some of their chapters, you know, if it's online. Now, some of the people that's hiding behind bad work, they don't have no pictures of themselves. They just have a pen name, and they can hide if they go nowhere with their name, and they decide to go get some training, they can start over again. So it's almost like they kind of protecting themselves in case they jump out there really bad. They can come back again. You know, I've seen that too. And like you said, the covers are nice and fancy, popping. Now, what do you say to a reader? You know, what should they watch out for a reader who's trying to give an author a chance? You know, they're trying to experiment, find somebody new to follow.
Well, I would say I'm always about giving people chances. As far as the readers, you know, some readers, avid readers, I know some that do not even entertain new authors because they've been burned. So, you know, and it only takes, you know how, I can't remember the exact saying, but it only takes, I guess, a minute to ruin a reputation. It takes a lifetime to build that reputation back. So, you know, you have to make sure that if you're going to even go after a new reader, that, again, you have your best work. But for readers, for avid readers, all I do is present my work out there. You know, I'm open with them. I know that I have a quality product, a great story, so I don't have any problem talking to them, reaching out to them.
Good.
And then I believe that once they give me that chance, you know, just like this evening on Facebook, someone by word of mouth asked me the name of the series, my son's wife series, because they had heard about it and they want to read the series, and a new reader. And so you have to believe that that word of mouth is going to get out. Whether, you know, if you're a good writer, it's going to get out. But if you're not so good writer, it's going to get out.
That's right. All right. We appreciate that advice. Now, let's talk about a little bit about your writers and your book club. You're the founder of BWABC, Black Writers and Book Clubs, Literacy Festival. That's all the same thing? Or it's two different?
Yes, it's BWABC Literacy Festival.
Okay. All right, tell us a little bit about that and why you formed it.
Well, this will be the 3rd year that we'll be holding the Black Writers and Book Clubs Literacy Festival, also known as the BWABC Literacy Festival. And that was a vision of mine, just starting here where I'm from in Memphis, because, as you know, I'm sure it's rampant. Illiteracy, I mean, millions of people are illiterate. And being African American, not that I'm just hounding on just African American, but because I am a woman of color, I first of all wanted to reach out within my own community. And so that means that, I have a mission. It says promoting literacy one community at a time. And that vision came to me because as a writer, as an author, and as a reader, how would I progress, in this industry if people can't read, if they can't understand, if they can't comprehend? And then starting with our young people, so that came to me. I was like, literacy, we have a ton of literary festivals, and that's great, and I'm all for it, and I try to attend as many of them as I can because that's what I do. That's who I am. But then I was thinking about literacy. It's no need in having a literary festival if no one can come there and can read the books.
They're just looking at the pictures.
They're just looking at they're looking at the pictures.
And they open it up and say, there's no pictures in this book.
And so, then I knew that book clubs are the ones that help me be the person that I am. They help me be as successful. I say they help me live my dreams now. You'll hear me. That's one of my taglines, live your dreams now. And so book clubs and avid readers, they help me live my dreams now. They are authors' best friends. And so I wanted to unite the authors and the book clubs together for this festival. I wanted people and young people and adults to come to my city and be able to see a room full of authors, talented people with gifts, the gift of writing and telling stories across all genres. It's not limited whether you write children's book or you write erotica, whether you write street fiction or you write contemporary, whether you write women's, whatever type of fiction that you write, whatever type of nonfiction that you write, you're able to come to that festival as an author and promote your work. And then the book clubs are able to come, and the book clubs are rewarded because a lot of times, just like you read my awards off, well, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that's award the book clubs because, they are the ones that really keep us in the limelight or can take us out of the limelight. So we award the book clubs with the book club that's done the most community service, the book club that's hosted the most authors, the book clubs that have read the most books, the book clubs that we have a book club of the year award, the book club that's posted the most book reviews. So book clubs get excited about the Black Writers and Book Clubs Literacy Festival, and then the event, the festival, is free to them. It's no charge.
Now I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you track those categories with them? Because they're all over the place. Are they in one central location in Memphis?
The book clubs?
Yeah. How you track that?
I go through my contacts. Word of mouth, the other authors that come. The book clubs just don't come from Memphis. See, they come from all over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I put it again. Social media is my best friend. Email blast. And so by this being the third year, the festival is growing, and book clubs are now signing up, and, they're learning more. Then we're going to have book club panel discussions because a lot of people want to form book clubs. They don't know how. They don't know how to make a successful book club. And then the book clubs and the authors are able to network with one another. And then that's an opportunity for an aspiring, or I should say a new author. New authors, I encourage them to attend because if you have a great book, a well-written book, this is the place where you can have your pitch to book clubs and avid readers. So they'll learn about your work.
Yeah. Wow. So what happened? Do they get a platform, the new authors, or are they just sitting among us, among everybody?
No, we have panel discussions. We divide our platforms up according to the genre. So if you are Christian fiction authors, and we have like 10 Christian fiction authors, then you're in that particular group, and you're able to talk about your books on an individual basis, though. But it's just it's just so that we can have it decent and in order. We have it categorized by genres.
Mm-hmm. So what time of year do you have your festival?
We always have it in September during National Literacy Month. And it's usually the third weekend in September. This year is September 19th and 20th. And this year we're doing something a little bit different on the 19th. Oh, and another thing I forgot to tell you, too, is we also award our young people. We go to the school systems, and we give awards to little kids, the kindergarten up to 3rd grade. We give them an award and what do you call it that goes around your neck? The
medal.
Medal. Yeah, we give them a medal.
Yeah.
We give them a bag of books, age-appropriate books for the most books read, girl and boy.
Wow.
And
like
then
the 100-book challenge.
Yeah, and then we go to the middle school, and they have to write a 250-word essay about the importance of literacy, and they receive, the winners receive a bag of age-appropriate books, a certificate, and all type of literary things. And then the high school students have to write a 500-word about literacy. And the grand prize winner of that receives a monetary award and an e-reader, like a Kindle. Last year we gave a Nook. The year before we gave a Kindle. I think this year we're going to give a Kindle Fire. So, and then they also receive, their certificate and a bag of age-appropriate books. And we've also had authors, whoever the grand prize winner is, like last year, author Sheila Goss, she donated a series of books that through Nook. So the young lady who read it, they got the series of Sheila Goss's young adult book.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Now, how much work goes into doing something like this? I mean, I know it's not just you that's putting this on. You got a whole staff of volunteers?
I have 5 volunteers, and they help me around the clock. It's a blessing when you have someone to share in your vision, because this was my vision. And so when you have a vision, you can't expect everyone to share in that vision. But I've been blessed to have 5 people that have really shared in this vision. They work with me on a continuous basis. They help get the word out. So I couldn't do it without them. So you're right. We work year-round. Once the festival is over, we've been working constantly on this year's festival.
Let's hear their names. Their
names are Regina Dobbins, Sherry Gregory, Barbara Morgan, Kathy Lee, Kevin Gray, and Tasha Parker.
All right. Congratulations. And wow.
Oh, Dolores Freeman. Oh, I forgot. Oh, please don't let me. Dolores Freeman.
Oh, Dolores Freeman.
Yes.
Yeah, don't forget about her. She's probably doing your job. All right. That is fantastic. Wow. Congratulations to you. And I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Man,
so
if I ever get big enough and I can afford to travel outside of Baltimore, Washington, I'm going to put that on my calendar to come to Memphis, because that's the month of my birthday.
Wow, great! So you can take a birthday vacation and come to Memphis.
That's right. So if I make it, I make it, I can start hitting the road. Because I like the way a lot of y'all festivals are spread out. Because there's quite a few coming up in June. It was quite a few in May up around the Delaware area, on the Gold Coast. And then it seemed like, I think, like Baltimore has one, I think that first week of September, the Baltimore Best Festival, Book Festival, which is huge. Everybody, oh man, that's a huge event. And then I think there's a couple more that's really, I think Washington's is like a week away, so I think then yours come up that 3rd week must be.
Well, the congressional, I think it's called the Congressional Caucus, the Black Caucus, it's the same weekend this year as our festival.
Okay.
Yes, I do remember that. It's the same weekend because, like I said, we try to have ours. When I came up with this thing, I wanted to make sure that it was not during a time where there were so many festivals going on. And then I thought, well, what better way than to have it during Literacy Month? But you're not going to avoid everything, but so you have to just pick and choose, because there are some things that I like to go to as well. But, of course, now, and I still am able to attend quite a few, but with the festival, with so much work putting into that sort of hampers what I can do as well.
That's right, because the RT, the Romance Festival, that's in June or July?
No, the one in, the one in New Orleans is in May.
Mm-hmm. Is it May? Oh, right. That's the big one, right? That's the big one coming up.
In May.
That's in May. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. I think they just had some smaller ones in Delaware, I believe.
Yeah,
All right.
I know
now,
they had one something too that Maryland, maybe on a smaller scale.
Yeah, they do have a couple smaller ones. Then you have C3, creatures, creators, and I can't think of the rest. I need to write this stuff down. They're having one through Intrigue Publishing. They're having a big one here in Maryland, in Hunt Valley area near Towson. That's in October. So that's supposed to be pretty big. They invite a number of authors, and I think mystery, detective type novel writers.
Oh, okay.
Which is going to be really interesting. A lot of those guys come out of that Washington area, so that's going to be pretty nice too. Headed up by Austin Camacho. Yeah. All right, let's talk about your books. We come into the last quarter of the hour, so I gave you an hour. Oh,
thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, you must be special. Let's talk about Sheila Limpsey's series. Now, you have a whole lot of them that's pinned under your name, and we talked about your My Son series. What brought about that series? Tell us a little bit about it and the main characters.
Okay, and see, this is where the importance of readers and your book clubs comes in, because I truly listen to the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to avid readers and book clubs. And so when I first wrote My Son's Wife under Urban Books, I wrote My Son's Wife. I always, you should never say never. I know you've heard of that. But I was not going to be a series writer. I was just, going to do a book, then go to the next book, go to the next book. Well, I wrote My Son's Wife, and it was meant to be, I thought, a standalone book. And it's about the Graham family. You have First Lady Audrey Graham, and she has a son named Styles and a daughter named Francesca, and she believes that she's found the perfect mate for her son. And myself having 2 sons and 3 grandsons, I could understand and sort of relate with her because, you want the best woman for your son. So she believes she's found the perfect wife for her son Styles, who is going to follow in his father's footsteps and become a pastor. But as life would have it, when he meets Rena, he thinks she's the perfect woman, and it turns out that Rena is definitely not the perfect woman for Styles. And so the story unfolds, and there's a lot of drama in it, but it's basically supposed to be Christian fiction. But I call it now dramatic Christian fiction because, again, my tagline, too, is perfect stories about imperfect people. So I write about controversial topics. So I write about, in this book, you're going to see topics of lesbianism. You're going to see topics of adultery in this book. You're going to see topics of, the alcohol and the drugs and the sexual diseases. It covers a whole gamut of things. But needless to say, I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be one book.
Yeah, so like you put a lot in that one book. Yeah,
but it was a lot. But it was just one book. The story ended, I thought, until I started getting, emails and social media things say, "But when is the next one coming out?" I was like, "When is the next one coming out?" Now, I was writing on Beautiful Ugly because I had to have my next manuscript into Urban Books, not thinking about My Son's Wife. So, I wrote Beautiful Ugly and submitted that, and then I kept getting these things, the information about, the request about the next book. So I thought, I write according to titles too, Jerry. It has to sort of hit me. I was like, My Son's Wife, I don't have anything else. What, My Son's Wife, what do they want? And then that's when My Son's ex-wife came, because for My Son's Wife, the marriage didn't work in My Son's Wife.
Okay.
And so it came to be My Son's Ex-Wife, The Aftermath. That was book 2. And so then book 2 came, and then they wanted book 3, and that's My Son's Next Wife.
Whoa. So, and that's the pastor? And that's the pastor of the third wife?
This is still the Graham family. All of this is about the Graham family. Styles Graham, who's the senior pastor now of Holy Rock Church. And so now
wife.
it's My Son's Wife, My Son's ex-wife,
Okay,
Yeah, my
that's
son's,
the second one.
Yeah, my son's next wife is the second one. See, because he was married to her. He was married to my son's wife.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So now it's my son's ex-wife. So it's the story. Okay, the story continues. Then my son's next wife. So this is now. Okay, I finished with that. I joined Benita and Hodge Publishing Company. I turned in a couple of more books to Urban, but they said, when is the next book coming out? I said, now wait a minute, this is getting ridiculous. So I had to think of a title because I couldn't write the book until I came up with the title. So I had to go back, review all those titles. And then the fourth book is My Sister, My Mama, My Wife.
Mama. Whoa. My sister, my mama, my wife. Whoa.
And now book 5, My Wife, My Baby.
My baby.
And then those 3 little ellipses, and him. And him.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
And already, when is book 6 coming out?
Man, they are something else.
So it's really turned out to be my best seller. I've written books in between those, but still people come right back to the My Son's Wife series.
Yeah, let me ask you then, so what's your readership like? What's your numbers like for that series that make you gotta keep coming back like that?
I mean, as far as what are you talking about? Book sales?
Yeah, like your numbers, like your numbers, yeah.
It's in the high thousands. I mean, up in the tens of thousands of books now. It's going up into the 10,000 range, and that I should say is under Benita and Hodge. Now I don't like the sales now. They are still under Urban Books. What lets you know too that you're selling well is like under Urban Books. You know, they have My Son's Wife and they have My Son's ex-wife, and they have My Son's next wife. You know, I get my royalties from that, of course, but I'm saying they have. But what lets me know that they're continuing to sell well is because they're still in trade paperback. See, when your sales begin to die down, your publisher, most traditional publishers, are going to boost your sales by putting that book into mass market. You know, the little small books. Well, the books are still in trade paperback. They still selling in trade paperback. They still they're still on the top 20 in book sales on most of these book sites. If you go to like Black Christian News Network, you'll find one or more of my books up in the top 20. This month we have number 2 spot as an independent publishing company. We have the number 2 spot, My Wife, My Baby, Him. Into Each Life has been in the top 20 since it came out. On Black Expressions, the books have ranked. This month in Black Expressions, My Wife, My Baby, and Him is a featured selection in Black Expressions.
Yeah, I can imagine. Let me see what that book looked like.
Well, My Wife, My Baby, and Him.
Yeah, I'm looking for that book. Okay, I got to see that book title. Pull it up right now.
And you'll see the church. There's Holy Rock. You see Styles Graham, senior pastor. And people hate this woman on the picture. That's Deetria. They hate her. In the book, most of the readers hate her with a passion.
They don't like her.
They do not. They told me, they said, we saw that she was no good when he met her in book 2. So that's why I had to come out with book 3. And she's my son's next wife. That's Deetria Graham. So
the Holy Rock, what's the membership of Holy Rock?
The membership of Holy Rock started out at a small, when his father, Chauncey Graham Sr. started it. It was like a church of 250. Now in book 5 here, it's grown up to almost 10,000 members.
Wow! So
under the leadership of Styles, the son.
Yeah, Styles, he's rocking.
Yeah, Styles is rocking. But
what
Styles
kind of minister is he?
He's a good guy too. He's a good guy. The people love Styles, but and he's straight to the core. You know, he's not a preachy guy, because in my books you don't hear a lot of preaching. You just hear real life issues. It's not preachy. So
he's not a dancer. He's not one of those. So he's a prosperity preacher, or he's like a Bible study type teacher. You know, like. No,
he's more like a Bible study type. He's more like a Bible study, practical living type of preacher.
Gotcha. Kind of like Joel Osteen type.
Almost like a Joel Osteen. Joel has him beat though.
Yeah. Wow. But
Yeah,
the only
so
thing
he's
about
he's not a hooping, hollering. Ooh, he's not that kind of preacher. But
no dancing. He's not a dancer.
No, he doesn't do the dance. Now he may stand on his tiptoes a little bit sometime when he really get happy. He'll get on his tiptoes.
Yeah, I like when they do that.
Yeah, but
wow.
But
So he's a good seller. He's a good man, but it's just the women that he brings in. That's the problem.
Yes.
Wow. But that's like that with a lot of those guys. I guess these women come out of the woodwork, or did he go to school with them, or he just met them?
Well, see, he met Rena because of his mother, because Rena, when he was at divinity school in the first book, he had come home from divinity school, and Rena and his sister Francesca were best friends. And so when he came home, his sister all grown up, and he met Rena. And so First Lady Audrey, she went into matchmaking mode.
Ah.
But Rena turns out, to be, and I just say it because most everybody's read the book. I mean, people have read the book. It's no secret that Rena turns out to have slept with someone else that was of the opposite sex. So when he finds this out, it's devastating to him because she didn't tell him until after the fact.
Yeah, and I can see my wife, my baby, and him. It's a whole lot of stuff going on with with
Deetria. Yeah, with Deetria. Yeah, Deetria Graham. Yeah.
Yeah, Deetria.
But she felt like, with Deetria, she felt like Styles was just not giving her enough time because he was like his daddy.
All the women. Yeah, a lot of women think that.
Yeah, he was.
She don't have nothing else to do, right?
Yeah,
but she
was a nutritionist. She was the one who pursued him at the church, and so he's a professor at night, an adjunct professor at teaching theology at night. And then, he has the church. He's trying to build a church because his father had a stroke, and so that's how he took over the church. So, like they said, they believe she was already out for no good anyway.
That's right. Wow, that is fascinating. Wow, sound like you're doing it up. Wow, we'd like to invite you back. We'd like to, get some young authors that can ask you some questions. And
I would love that.
Would you be interested in something like that? Yeah,
I would love
to set that up.
I would love
good. Because I've been talking to Rhonda Lawson about doing something like that. We were thinking about hooking up with a publisher, but shoot, you have just as much information as any of the publishers out there. So
well,
we'd love to have you back. Yeah,
I would love to be back. I would love
Especially
to be
back. You have so many book titles and so much experience. You've been in the game for a very long time. I mean, who wouldn't want to pick your brain,
And many people do.
I believe it. All right. Well, that pretty much ends the segment of our show. And before we go, is anything you'd like to leave my audience with, our readers, your fans? I know your fans going to be jumping at chance to hear you speak.
Well, I always just say, first of all, I always try to show my appreciation for my fans, my readers, because without you, I wouldn't be able to live my dreams now. And I implore everyone out there, if there's a passion, which you have, a gift, a talent that's embedded within you, and I believe that God has embedded and given each and every one of us a talent and a gift, then I implore you to live your dreams now, not someone else's dreams. Live your dreams. Go after your passion, and you will be able to be all that you were created to be.
That's right. And I hope your fans enjoyed this interview. I sure did. And wow, you're a wonderful, wonderful person, and we appreciate having a chance to connect with you on positivepower21.org. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to Sheila Lipsey's interview on Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and that'll be Spreaker.com/user/positivepower21. If you want to follow us so you get a chance to hear more and more exciting authors that we bring to Positive Power 21. Okay? All right. Thanks for connecting with me.
You're welcome.
And you take care.
Okay,
thanks, everybody,
so
for tuning in.
Okay.
I'm Jerry-Royce. Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And that's the wrap. Thank you for tuning in to the Positive Power 21 Network. Team 21 would like to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Sheila. And tell a friend. This is Jerry Royce at Positive Power 21, where we get our positive on.
Positive Power 21.
Thank you, audience, for tuning in.